Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm so glad that you clicked on the video so we can share in our excitement, or maybe you're preparing to be disappointed, but E3 2021, and just to clarify, Sony isn't actually going to be at E3. They're opting out, but what Sony has typically done the last couple of years is they've had their own events. And there's so many things that I'm looking forward to from Sony specifically that I wanted to make this video of stuff that we actually expect to happen, which you might not know about, and some stuff that would just blow my mind that Sony could announce at their own event during E3 2021. As always, if you're looking for PS5 restock information, make sure you follow me on Twitter for that. And when I have any updates that are significant enough for a video, I will of course continue to post a video. And the live streams will not stop. Whenever there's a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X restock, I will go live on this channel, so make sure you're subscribed, notifications turned on, and get ready for even more hype because I'm going to be live streaming all 3 days of E3, like all day, every day. So you can pop in the stream, we can hang out, do a little bit of hype sessions and some finger guns. So the first thing that I hope Sony announces at E3, and I think we would all be super excited for this, is that they finally enable that internal storage slot in the PS5, because right now you can use external hard drives. I have a video on it, it's right here, which the best ones are, but you can't play your PS5 off those. So you're limited to this 800 gigabytes if you have the disc version of space, and that fills up really quick. So Sony has said that they will allow you to upgrade the internal storage, so you can actually download and play PS5 games with more storage. And I honestly cannot wait for that to happen. If they could announce it, I would be so thankful and so hyped to finally upgrade my internal storage, because obviously it's been 7 months. It'll be 7 months at the start of E3 that the PS5 has come out. So please, let us upgrade our memory, Sony. The next announcement that I would love to see from Sony is some release dates for some indie games, specifically Stray and Ghostwire Tokyo. I want to see more gameplay as well, and I also want to see some more gameplay for Kena Bridge of Spirits, because that game is coming out August 24th. So while Ghostwire Tokyo looks very interesting, I'm excited for that game because it takes place in Tokyo, Japan, in the city. It's a next-gen game. The graphics don't blow me away, but it's kind of like a horror story, like Ghost Story, but you have all these superpowers. And I've always been fascinated by Tokyo, so I'm super hyped for that, to be able to explore the city of Tokyo. But Stray is actually, of those 3 games, the one I'm most excited for, just because it's so mysterious. You play as a cat. There seems to be some kind of complicated story going on. The graphics look gorgeous. Like, it looks like Cyberpunk 2077, how they promised it would be. And that's what this game looks like. So I'm really excited for Stray and Kena Bridge of Spirits. I have a whole video on that as well right here, but that looks like you're going to be playing like a Disney Pixar movie, Horizon Zero Dawn-esque. So I'm very excited for that. And speaking of Horizon Zero Dawn, the next announcement that would be incredible from Sony is to give us a release date for Horizon Forbidden West. You showed off all this gameplay, got us all excited, and didn't give us a release date. That was the only thing I didn't like about that state of play, was there was no release date. So please, Sony, give us the release date. The next thing that I would love to see is something from Naughty Dog. We know they're working on something, right? Naughty Dog, who of course made Uncharted, The Last of Us. I would love to see anything from any of those franchises, or something brand new. I would love to see a new Uncharted game. I would love to see a new Last of Us game. There were rumors earlier this year that they were going to remake The Last of Us Part 1, which kind of doesn't make sense because it's on the PS4 already remastered. So I don't know why you would need to remaster it again. I would take that, but I hope for something new. If you're excited for Naughty Dog, or maybe a different studio, let me know in the comments below. Next up, this is a quick one. We would really like it, Sony, if you let us add themes to the PlayStation 5, because the PS4 has literally thousands of themes, and they're really fun. They kind of make the home dashboard yours, and I'm really surprised and kind of disappointed that we don't have themes on the PS5. Having themes come to the PS5 would be amazing. And one other announcement that would be amazing, which is not related to games, Faceplates. Obviously, we have companies like Dbrand and others that are making the black faceplates that you can swap out to make your PS5 look all black, which looks awesome. But I would love to see some official stuff from Sony, and not just like all black faceplates, but give us some ones based on games. So like Ratchet and Clank just came out. I think it's going to be past the release date, so we can't get a Ratchet and Clank themed one, but like a God of War themed PlayStation 5 or a Spider-Man one, some cool stuff like that, maybe Horizon. Instead of having these special edition consoles when a game comes out and you're like, oh man, I have a PS5, now I want to buy another one because that one looks so cool. I'm hoping Sony will just sell the faceplates. So no matter what happens, you'll always be able to get the new special edition console because you can just buy the faceplates and pop them on. That would be really cool. Of course, you're going to have to be able to buy a PS5 at all before that happens. But I hope that we get some news about faceplates coming in. We just got the colored controllers, so faceplates will be amazing. Now, the next thing that I want to see, and this isn't specific to Sony, this is just kind of in gaming in general, is I want to see an update on Hogwarts Legacy. That game was given a release date of 2021 and then got delayed to 2022. I hope it doesn't get delayed further to 2023. That could happen. But if we see some gameplay or get an update at that at some point in E3, that'll really make me feel better that the game is actually coming out in 2022. I'm really excited to see that. Now we're up to number 8 on the list. And again, this isn't specific to Sony, but it would be Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. We literally just got Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, which is like the in-between Part 1 and Part 2 to kind of tie us over. Now that we have that, I would love it if Square Enix could tease maybe a little bit of Part 2. In case you don't know this about me, Final Fantasy VII, the original for PlayStation 1, is my favorite game of all time. And if you didn't play the remake of Final Fantasy VII, or you didn't play the original, the remake is actually a sequel. And it astounds me how many people don't know that Final Fantasy VII Remake is a sequel. But if you played the first game and you played the second game, it's without a doubt a sequel. I won't explain why, because it gets into spoilers, but basically Part 2 is going to completely veer off from the original story and be its own thing to continue this sequel. And I'm so excited to see what direction they go with this. So far, the story completely, even though it's a sequel, completely makes sense and matches up with the craziness of the original Final Fantasy VII story. So I'm just excited for that. So even if they just drop like a 1-minute acknowledgement of Part 2, it would be like the best E3 ever, in my opinion. I'm also going to tack on there Persona 6. That is another RPG, and Persona 5 was my second favorite PS4 game. Horizon was my first. But a Persona 6 announcement would be incredible, especially because Persona 5 is getting rated for Xbox. So that was a PlayStation exclusive. That looks like it's going to go over to Xbox. Maybe now it's time to get something about Persona 6. And then 3 more left, and these are going to be big ones. Number 10 would be the PlayStation VR 2. And this is something that would be incredible to see, but also we should see, because Sony announced the PlayStation VR 2 earlier this year and said it was coming out in 2022. But they gave us a lot of information. So if they were willing to give us some information on it back then, I think they want to keep promoting this, keep making people aware that it's going to be a thing. So I totally expect some more information on the PSVR 2. The PSVR seems a little outdated at this point, so I'd love to see what they're going to be doing for their new VR console. Number 11, this is also hardware related. I'm curious to see if Sony acknowledges or announces there will be a redesign of the PS5 to try to help have more stock come into availability. Now, I'm not talking like a PS5 Pro or a PS5 Lite. It'll essentially be exactly the same as the current PS5, just designed a little differently just so they can make more stock. I think that would be a really smart thing for Sony to announce, because they actually will acknowledge how hard their console is to get and that they're actually doing something to try to make it easier. So I think that's a good idea. But also, I think we would just want to know, right? Like, okay, so if we get a PS5 now, is it going to be different than the PS5s people get 6 months from now? I don't think it matters which one you buy. Honestly, if you have one now, you get one that looks the way this one does. And if you get one, whenever they do a redesign, if they do a redesign, it may or may not look different, but it will be functionally the same. So my advice would be try to get a PS5 whichever way you can. Don't necessarily wait for a redesign, because it's not going to be a redesign that increases the quality of the console. But that said, I would like to know if it's going to look different or not. So that's like one thing that I would really like to see from Sony. Now, number 12 on the list, and this one is the really cool one, which definitely won't happen, but maybe it will. Everyone's looking to see if Nintendo announces a Switch Pro, which I think they will at some point this summer, maybe or maybe not at E3. But what if Sony announced a new handheld, the PlayStation Portable Pro, or whatever? Now, what would also be cool is if they give us something that's like a handheld that you can play your PS5 remotely from. That would be really cool. So it doesn't necessarily take its own cartridges or discs. It's kind of like a PS5 portable that uses your PS5. Something like that, or, you know, maybe it could have its own games, but just like some kind of portable from Sony. I am very, very thirsty for that. The PSP and the PS Vita, two of my favorite games of all time. I still play them all the time. And I love the form factor of those consoles too. They're smaller than the Switch. They don't have like a flip screen like the DS, so you put them in your pocket, you play it, it's just like that, nice and easy. Yeah, that's kind of my dream wish from Sony, is for them to unveil another portable console. But let me know, that was the last one, that makes 12. Let me know what you would love to see from Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo. I just decided to do Sony for this video. Make sure you come to my live streams for E3. We're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff, but I'm so happy that I'll get to see all you guys in the live stream and say hi to everyone. It's always nice to stream with you. Anyways, have a good one, everyone. See you there.